Okay. So before we proceed to the literary text that we are going to have as a lesson for the next day, let us have first the poem Gabu that we had on our first monthly. Okay, so an additional for the poem Gabu by Mr. Carlos Angeles. Okay, let's have the analysis of the poem Gabu. So that is a short poem lang naman. So let us have these slides. Okay, so the analysis of the poem Gabu. So may I repeat again who is the author of the poem Gabu? So no other than Mr. Carlos A. Angeles. So Mr. Carlos A. Angeles was born on May 25th, in 1921 in Tacloban City, Leyte. So he was graduated from Rizal High School in 1938. Okay, he also obtained various universities. Okay, so he also go to the various universities in pre-med and pre-law. Okay, so one sem at Ateneo de Manila. Okay, two sem at UP in 1941. Okay, he was also then member of the UP Writers Club, and then 1/4 at Central Luzon Colleges. He also did not return to school after the World War II. Okay, so inabutan niya ang World War II. From 1950 to 1958 naman, he became the chief of the Philippine Bureau of Internal News Service. And from 1958 to 1980, he was also became guest of the U.S. State Department on a Smith Monthly Leader Grant, press assistant under the Garcia administration, and a public relations manager of a Pan Am Airlines. He is also a board of directors of International PEN, the Philippine chapter. Okay, so one of his famous works is what we call a Stand of Jewels. Okay, Stand of Jewels was made in 1963. It is a composition of 47 poems. Okay, in 1964, when poetry was first considered in the Carlos Palanca Memorial Awards for Literature, okay, Mr. Carlos A. Angeles receives first prize. Okay, in the Carlos Palanca Memorial Awards for Literature. So Republic Cultural Heritage Award as well for literature was obtained by Mr. Carlos A. Angeles during his prime. And also, lastly, he is in USA since 1978 with his family. Okay, so doon na siya nanirahan. Doon na siya So again, the author of the poem Gabu is none other than Mr. Carlos A. Angeles. Okay, the genre of our poem, the poem Gabu, is philosophical or existentialist. So this is a lyric poem. Okay, the persona. Okay, the persona in the poem is probably someone on a beach at Gabu, watching the rough sea, contemplating life. Okay, so meaning the persona in the poem. Okay, sino ba yung naandun? Sino ba yung person inside the poem? Not the author himself. Okay, so there is an implied persona, okay, in that particular poem. Okay, and it is probably someone on a beach at Gabu. Okay, we can say he's sitting or lying or even standing, watching the rough sea, not contemplating life. Okay, so that is the persona in the poem. Next is the theme. So the theme of the poem is life can be restless like the sea. It is temporal but desires permanence. Okay, so later on as we analyze the poem, now we can decipher what is the meaning of this theme. Okay, the theme is life can be restless like the sea. Okay, so yung sea is compared not to our life. So meaning the sea is the metaphorical counterpart of life. Okay, as we can see here. Okay, it is restless then, katulad ng buhay natin. Okay, so as well as temporal but desires permanence. Okay, so later on now we are going to analyze that one bit by bit. Okay, so once again, this is the poem Gabu by Carlos Angeles. Let me read this to you once again before we go to the analyzation part, line by line. So the battering restlessness of the sea insists a tidal fury upon the beach. At Gabu and its pure consistency, he evokes the wasteland hard within its reach. Brutal the day-long bashing of its heart against the seascape over 4 miles around. Farther than sight itself, the rock stones part and drop into the elemental wound. The waste of centuries is gray and dead, and neutral where the sea has beached its prime, where the split salt of its heart lies spread among the dark habiliments of time. The vital splendor misses, for here at Gabu, where the ageless tide recurs, all things forfeited are most loved and dear. It is the sea pursues a habit of choice. So that is Gabu na by Carlos Angeles. So later on at the end of the lesson, there will be an activity. It is a 4 questions. At isa dong tanong is the rhyme scheme of the poem. Okay? So sana hindi pa nakakalimutan na nung topic natin na rhyme scheme. We're going to identify in the activity later on after the lesson. But what is the rhyme scheme of the poem Gabu? Okay? So later on yun. Because I'm just having a sneak peek of it. Okay, so ano nga ba yung GABU? Okay, so when we say GABU, so from the word itself, from the question itself here, where is GABU? So meaning GABU pertains not to a particular place. Okay, so ang GABU po ay matatagpuan sa Ilocos Norte. Okay, so that is a place. Okay, a beach. Okay, so that is GABU. Okay, it is located at Ilocos Norte. Yan ang GABU, Philippines. Okay. First stanza. Okay, let's have the meaning and imagery of it. The battering restlessness of the sea insists a tidal fury upon the beach. At Gabu and its pure consistency havocs the wasteland hard within its reach. So when we say Gabu, once again, it is a place in Ilocos Norte near the sea. It is often when typhoons occur, places like this are affected greatly. Okay? So ito, yung Gabu, madalas din siya kay kapag dinadaanan ng mga bagyo or typhoons. Okay? Okay, so there is a tsunami. Okay, nagkaroon ng tsunami dan noong Typhoon Imbudo noong July 2003. No, doon sa Gabu. So the sea is restless and can be destructive. Okay? So yun yung sinasabi sa restless, and then sea is a metaphorical meaning of life. Just like what I mentioned earlier. Okay, so kino-compare si sea sa ating life, which is restless. Okay? And then battering restlessness naman is what we call impermanent. Okay? So meaning impermanent. Okay? So kabaliktaran ng permanent. So battering restlessness, which is tawag dito, an imagery, no, for being impermanent. So meaning temporal. Sa second naman natin na stanza, brutal the day-long bashing of its heart against the seascape where 4 miles around, farther than sight itself, the rock stones part and drop into the elemental wood. So the turmoil of the sea is continuous and powerful. Okay? So brutal bashing naman dito, ang meaning niya is life's chaos. Okay, yung brutal dito, yung bashing of its heart. Okay? So in brutal bashing ng waves, these are the life's chaos, no? Meaning the problems, the challenges, no, that we may encounter. Okay, so in our life. Elemental wounds, no, is the imagery of it is depths of the sea. Okay, so how deep the sea is. Okay, so that is the depths of the sea, the elemental wound. Ganun din sa ating third stanza, the sea has been there for centuries. Sabi dyan, the waste of centuries is gray and dead. So meaning gray and dead, so meaning it lasts for a long period of time. Okay, so meaning the sea has been there for centuries. Okay, so waste of centuries meaning nito is past. Okay, the waste of centuries here is pertaining to past. Okay, so once the sea touches shore, it becomes neutral. Okay, so let's say for example, kahit napakalakas ng alon, okay, in the middle of the sea, once it touches the shore, okay, yung ating pangpang, no, it becomes neutral. Okay, doon siya nagiging smooth. Okay, split salt, okay, where the split salt of its heart lies spread. Okay, pag sinabi natin split salt, no, the imagery of split salt here is bad luck. Okay, so bad luck kumbaga sa buhay ng tao. No, that is a split salt. Okay, yun yung meaning niya when it comes to our life, no, bad luck. Saltiness of the sea naman describe its darkness and deadness. Okay, yung saltiness of the sea. Okay, ang kanyang imagery, it describes the darkness and deadliness of, or deadness rather, of the sea. Time bears the split salt of life. Okay, so that is the meaning of the third stanza. So once the sea touches the shore, it becomes neutral. Okay, all of us know we do have temporal challenges and problems that we are experiencing in life, just like here na presented as a sea. Okay, pero at the end, meron pa rin tayong direction, na meron tayong ending kung saan nagiging neutral tayo, just like the sea. Okay, kahit gaano man yung battering, no, restlessness ba kumbaga of the waves. Okay, there is still neutrality, no, or peace. Okay, at the end of it, no, in the shorelines. Ganun din when it comes to the life of the people. Okay, so in the life of the people, we do have problems, challenges. No, that all of those are temporal. Okay, we all do have our shores. Okay, kung saan nagiging neutral or nagkakaroon ng peace. Okay, so meron din dyan later on na makikita natin yung imagery, no, of the shoreline. Okay, which is referring to death or afterlife. Okay, na sinasabing that is the time, no, of our neutrality. Okay, so later on. So meaning and imagery, the vital splendor misses for here at GABU, where the ageless tide recurs, all things forfeited are most loved and dear. Okay, the brilliance necessary for life is not there. Not because in life, even the most important things are lost. Okay, so this is very much clear. In life, sabi, even the most important things are lost. Okay, ganun talaga. No, when it comes to our life, okay, so sabi nga, nothing is permanent except change. Okay, kahit gaano man importante ang isang bagay, okay, it can be lost. No, pwede siyang mawala. All things forfeited are most loved and dear. Yun lang ang medyo masakit. Okay, yung mga bagay na napo-forfeit natin are those things which is most loved and dear, no, by those persons. And then lastly, for the last line, it is the sea pursues a habit of shores. Okay? So ito yon. Yung sea na nagpursue ng shore for it to become neutral. Okay? Kasi doon siya nagiging payapa pagdating sa kanyang shoreline. So meaning and imagery, waves shows that the sea is constantly moving but always towards the shore. Okay? So constantly moving yung waves ng isang sea pero laging papunta sa shore natin. Okay, sa shore. Okay, sa pangpang, no, para maging neutral. Life is bounded by time, always moving. Ganun din daw sa buhay. Life is bounded by time, always moving. But what we all desire is a stable and eternal ending. Spiritual context, just like what I mentioned earlier, shore is equals to the afterlife. Okay, so when it comes to the imagery of it. Okay, so always moving, pero pare-parehas ng desire, stable and eternal ending. Just like what the sea, okay, not pursuing a habit of shore, okay, to make him neutral, okay, to make it rather neutral. Not just like in the people's lives, okay. So in spiritual context naman sinasabi that the shore is, meaning is the afterlife. Okay, kung saan nung stability tsaka eternal ending. Okay, spiritually, when it comes to spiritual context. So that is the meaning of it. Okay, so these are the figures of speech. No, some of the figures of speech presented, no, in the poem. So again, the metaphor, okay, C is the life of a person. Personification, present, the vital splendor misses. Okay, you know what personification is. Okay, the sea pursues. Okay, so those those activities that is doing by a person, which is given to a particular thing. Okay, so pero hindi naman literal. Okay, yung meaning. So that is personification. The vital splendor misses. The sea pursues. Okay, so that is personification. Okay, yung ating ditong synecdoche or synecdoche, brutal the day long bashing of its heart. And then the paradox, all things forfeited are most loved and here. Okay, so there is a negative and a positive here. So that is our paradox. Now all things perfected are most loved here. So those are some of the figures of speech that can be seen in the poem Gabu by Mr. Carlos Angeles. Next, now for the last slides, okay, for the reaction. Always remember that our lives are fleeting, okay, so meaning temporal, okay? The only constant thing in life is change, okay? So this is a cliche na rin, no, kung baga, okay, so nothing is temporary except change, okay, but that is very much true up until now. Life can be rough, no, like the sea, but we can believe that if the sea can find stability once it meets the shore, we can find it too. Okay, so no matter what problems we are facing right now, okay, no matter what problems, challenges man yan, or even struggles, okay, not just like a rough sea, okay, we can believe that if the sea can find stability, once it meets the shore, ganun din tayo. No, we can find it too. We can find our own shore. Okay, we're in. No, we can solve those problems, challenges, and struggles of us. No, all of those challenges, no rough challenges, problems, and struggles are only temporal. Okay, so that is what the poem Gabu wants to imply. Okay, so by the author, Mr. Carlos Angeles. Okay, and that will be the end of the study. Question so far. Okay, about the poem Gab. If none, kindly hit the thumbs up button. Okay. So now, I would like you to go to your Genia account and then kindly look for the activity. It has something to do with the lesson that we had. So this is just essay type. Kindly look for the 21st century lit lesson analysis of the poem Gab. Okay, let's have a look now before you proceed. Okay, so madali lang siya. Who is Carlos Angeles? Okay, I have given you the details. Okay, kindly describe him and his achievements. Okay, you can put it into a single paragraph. Okay, hindi nyo naman kailangan gawin na yung tawag dito, yung bulleted form. Okay, kindly describe to Carlos Angeles, not the author. Okay, pakilagay dito kung ano yung mga ibang achievements niya. Okay, but you can also describe him based on the context of Gabu. Okay, based on the poem that he has written. Next, the second one, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem Gabu? Okay, so I am expecting that all of you tanda pa kung paano ginagawa or paano inaalam yung ating rhyme scheme. Okay, so given naman dyan yung poem ng Gabu, okay, so ang gagawin nyo lang is just not to write what is the rhyme scheme of the poem Gabu on the blank provided. Okay, so again, rhyme scheme ng poem Gabu. What does the poem Gabu tells us about? Okay, so ano ba yung gustong ipabatid or ihatid na message ng ating poem na Gabu? And then lastly, of course, realizations tayo and then lessons learned. What have you learned or realized in the poem Gabu? Okay, so you can have internalizations here upon reading the poem Gabu. Okay, so these are just four item activity for a total of 20 points. So you have still the remaining time of ours. No need to rejoin once the Zoom meeting has ended. Kindly continue doing your activity. Okay, so you may now start doing your activity. Naka-set permission na yan sa inyo.